What is reverse dieting? So reverse dieting is slowly increasing your calories over time to increase and restore your metabolism. There's two types of people that typically need to reverse diet. The first is somebody who has been stalled for a really long time, but they're eating really low calories. And oftentimes, not only are they eating super low calories, but they're also working out a ton. They've tried every single diet out there: keto, Optavia, low carb, intermittent fasting, you name it, they've done it. Nothing seems to work. Their appetite is low. They're always tired. They sleep bad. And they also have a lot of stubborn belly fat. This is essentially to be looked at as the diet before the diet. Uh, Basically, just because you're ready to lose weight, it doesn't mean that your body is ready to. So even though you're eager and you're ready to go, there still has to be this period and this phase in the beginning in order to actually position you to do that. So if you ever want to lose that weight, you'll have to reverse diet. And the longer you wait, the harder it'll be. Person two is somebody who was consistently dropping fat, but then they stalled out and their calories are as low as they can be, meaning they can't go any lower in their calories. There's no room there. And their activity is as high as it can be. They are typically hungry often because they're not used to being that low in calories. For this person, you're going to want to reverse diet in order to lock in the results that you already achieved. So if you lost 10, 15, 20 pounds, in order to lock that in, you want to reverse diet. After you do this, then you can start another fat loss phase, but with way less effort because your calories will be higher and you'll be in a better position. If you don't do this, if you don't reverse diet, then you will likely regain the weight that you lost and more because your maintenance calories will adapt. So if you look at the graph on the side, the weight started out where it started out. That person lost X amount of pounds. And then because they didn't reverse diet, they regained that and more. Now, why would you reverse diet? Well, there's a lot of different reasons. First, you're going to repair your metabolism. You're also going to improve your hormones because a lot of hormonal issues come with eating such low calories for an extended period of time. On top of that, you're going to sleep better. You're going to have more energy. You're going to improve your mood. You're going to eat more without gaining, which is a big, big piece of this. You're also probably going to build some lean muscle in the process, which is going to make fat loss a lot easier later down the line. And of course, maybe most importantly, the biggest reason why you would do it is because eventually you want to lose fat while eating more calories or break through the plateau that you've been stuck at for so long. The method is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. On paper, it can be a little bit more challenging in practice, but basically you want to start out by decreasing your activity outside of the 3 or 4 strength training workouts that I have you guys doing throughout the week. You want to steadily increase your calories based on your weekly weight average, meaning if your weight average looks like it's going up, we might just chill for a week and keep your calories where they're at. But if it's continuing to look solid and stay around the same, then we'll likely look to increase calories and play it more aggressively. You really want to prioritize getting stronger with your lifts during this process because it's a really good move to put on lean muscle in the process because you're not going to get another chance to do that in the same capacity that you can when you have this influx of calories. You want to make sure you're eating a sufficient amount of protein in order to do that. And basically, we're continuing to add calories until we get to what we project your maintenance calories to be. And then we're going to take a couple of weeks and lock it in. And then we'll start the fat loss phase if that's what we're doing. Just wanted to show you guys a few case studies just to give you an idea of what you can look forward to. Caroline, I worked with her a few years ago. She was 51 years old. And we started out by doing a 17-week reverse. We increased her calories by like 1350. Over that 17-week period. She gained around 3.5 pounds, which is typical. It's normal to gain a couple or a few for some people, or maybe even 5. It just depends on the person. She lost some inches. She built some good muscle in that 17-week period. And then when we started our fat loss phase, because her calories were all the way up to 2450, we had a few different pivots that we can make, a few different ways that we could go every time that she stalled a little bit. We ended up at 1750 and we increased her steps all the way up to 10,000 eventually. And the results across that period of time during the fat loss phase were 67 pounds lost. She was able to keep it off permanently because we reversed after this. And she also lost a ton of inches. I mean, you guys, the picture speaks for itself. Heather, who is 43 years old, she did a 16-week fat loss phase where we started her at 1650 on the calories. So her metabolism was in an okay spot and we just started a fat loss phase immediately. So that she's more like person B. So we did 1650 on the calories. She lifted 3 times per week and we hit 8K daily on the steps. She lost 24 pounds, toned, lost inches, and looks phenomenal in her pictures. And then after that, we reverse dieted to lock in the 24 pounds lost and to get her maintenance calories up higher so that keeping it off forever would be really, really easy. Tabitha, who is 40 years old. We did a 6-week reverse diet phase in the beginning. We were pretty aggressive with this. We went from 900 to 1800 calories. And during the picture on the right is actually her progress during that 6-week period. Believe it or not, it was only a 4-pound drop in these pictures. I think at her lowest, she was down maybe like 12 pounds, I want to say, or 14. I'm not exactly sure. We also, during that reverse period, dropped her workouts from 5 days to 3. And, you know, these were essentially her results. So lost inches, toned up, lost body fat, looked a lot different. And right now we're currently reverse dieting to set up for a future fat loss phase. Didi, who is 68, we did a 20-week, give or take, maybe a week in either direction. We did a 20-week fat loss phase, and she was eating 1,700 calories during this time, lifting 3 times per week, and she was able to lose 20 pounds. We reverse dieted. She locked in the 20 pounds that she lost. We started another diet phase or a fat loss phase. She lost 10 more pounds, and then we reverse dieted, and she's been able to sustain the 30 pounds that she lost at around 1,800 calories a day. And we're probably going to do another fat loss phase, but we're trying to build up her maintenance calories after that. Now, there is an alternative. You don't have to reverse diet. You could, if your calories are already really low, you could drop them even lower, like to 400 or 800 calories a day. You could start working out twice every single day. You could, you know, sacrifice your sleep, destroy your metabolism further, destroy your hormones, have less energy, a worse mood. And that might work. You might lose a few more pounds, or you may even get to your desired weight after suffering for however long you have to suffer for going with that method. But again, I'm kind of being facetious because at the end of the day, that's not sustainable. The likelihood of you being able to stick to that and stick to it long enough to then try to reverse out of that is extremely, extremely low. And I just would not suggest it because there's a whole host of health issues that would come with that. Biggest thing that I'll say, guys, is don't quit. Quitting results in gaining more than where you started most times, as you guys saw in a few images ago, a few slides back. Reverse dieting is not easy, but it's the only viable option. You're literally doing this because nothing else has worked. So like, even if you didn't do a reverse diet, what are you going to do? You're going to go back to keto or low calories or Atkins, or just doing what you were doing before, low carb, tracking all three macros, or, you know, all these things that are essentially the same thing, just a calorie deficit. That stuff doesn't work. We know historically that it hasn't worked for you. That's why you're here. So if you ever want to achieve this goal, if you ever actually want to get this in a good spot, it's really not a question of if you're going to do a reverse diet to get this in a good spot, but really when you're going to reverse diet. Closing notes, remember, it's not an overnight quick fix. It's not that kind of thing. Don't expect weight loss. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. People do lose weight on it. I've seen it happen. I think one of the few people that I just showed you guys lost weight on it, or maybe 2 of them did. It's possible. It's not crazy likely. It's less than 50% likely for sure. But you guys want to shift the mindset to, instead of how much can I lose now? How much can I lose right now? To setting yourself up to finally see sustainable fat loss and weight loss later. Focus on getting stronger and increasing your calories while minimizing fat gain. So if you can sustain your weight, but increase your calories significantly, put on a little bit of lean muscle, then you're setting yourself up perfectly. And there's no question you're going to be successful in the future. Another thing, eating more may be, you know, kind of hard at first because it's going to feel counterintuitive and your appetite might be low. It should get better over time. But, you know, again, most important thing, guys, stay the course. The short-term delayed gratification that you're going to experience going through, you know, this process that you may not love is going to be worth a lifetime of sustainable results and really getting this stuff in a really, really great spot. If you guys have any questions on reverse dieting, just shoot me a message.